Oh wow. Calm down, lighting. Hey guys, what's up? It's Jordan and I am back with another video. So, nobody asked for it, but I'm making it. My least favorite books of 2020. The worst reads of 2020. And some of these are gonna make people a little angry, and to that I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my opinions waver and are so different than some popular ones. But I'm gonna start with the physical books that I have. I only have 4 books on my list, which, okay, we're gonna go out of focus. There we go. I only have 4 books on my list, so I guess we had a pretty good reading year. So I'm gonna start with the ones that no one really probably knows. They're not like widely spread about YouTube, BookTube. They're not widely spread among BookTube. So I'm gonna start with Occupy Space by Grady Hendrix. That reminds me, I need to take a thumbnail. So Occupy Space, the premise is funny. The idea is good. And I didn't necessarily hate the book, I just found myself getting bored. Which sucks because I really enjoyed this other book club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, which is also by Grady Hendrix. So this is basically about this astronaut that gets sent up to space, and he gets stuck up in space. And it's about this old retired astronaut who's like kind of a redneck, and everybody's like, you need to go save him, and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build myself a rocket. So him and all these redneck friends start building a space station or a rocket, and they call themselves Redneck NASA. And I know that like it sounds like it's gonna be funny, and it's a good book. It's not a bad book at all. It got very into the technical side of rocket science and engineering, and I just don't care. I don't care about that. So I found myself getting bored. I found myself just being like, okay, like, and not much happened in the book. It's only like, what, 130 pages? 117 pages, yeah, so it's not long. It's a very short read. But I don't know, I didn't like it. I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, which like I'm surprised by. I think that's only because I like the author. But yeah, Occupy Space, not my favorite Grady Hendrix, that's for damn sure. Up next is going to be Violet. Now this was talked about a little bit on BookTube. It's about this mother whose husband dies, and so she takes her daughter to like her old lake house that she had while she was growing up, and turns out that her mom actually died in the house. Her mom had cancer, and so she takes her there and she's like, we're gonna live here for the summer, just get away from like, you know, our regular life, we're gonna rebuild the home, we're gonna blah 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 blah. And terror ensues. And by terror I mean a really underwhelming ghost adventure. The little girl becomes friends with this little ghost girl, and it's like, okay, whatever, she has like an imaginary friend, and then it's like, no, like this is not okay. So the ending was good, like it wasn't bad the whole way through. It just took until like chapter 24 maybe for something to happen, and I was just like over it. I like things, I don't want to say to escalate quickly. I like things to move just at a more rapid pace, and this book just like took its fucking time. Like literally, I talk about this actually in I think my July wrap up or something like that, and I'm like, it says, where is it? A masterclass in immersion. Don't let anybody tell you this book is a slow burn. Violet travels at the speed of horror. That's not fucking true. It is a slow burn. It takes a while for things to happen, and then finally it's like, oh, okay, a little ghost girl. Oh, she's trying to like do, I don't know, I'm not trying to spoil the book, you know what I mean? But like, little ghost bitch, trying to be evil. It wasn't a bad book, but it wasn't like my fave, you know? It's just, I wouldn't, I don't know. I hated like the first 3/4, so I feel like to me, that's like, yeah, you didn't like the book. Did you hear that airplane? So yeah, I had to give it, it's on my list. It's on my list. Oh my god, I forgot about this book. This is how much I wanted to put this book out of my just sight and mind. I have 5 books. I thought I only had 4. Haha, incorrect. The Ring. Now, I bought this book because I loved the movie, right? And so I was like, oh, let me read the old books by, so this is by Koji Suzuki, and this is the original Ring novel. This is what the Ring movies are based off of, right? I hated it. And I don't know if I hated it because I grew up such a fan of the Americanized movie, and the premise is so different. To me, I think I already knew what was gonna happen, and I just needed it to, let's go. Let's go. Another one of those. So if you're not like a diehard fan of the Americanized the Ring movie, then you actually might like this. It just wasn't like my favorite thing in the world. It wasn't something that I was like, I gotta tell everybody to read this. It was like just very meh. I was let down. It's like, yeah, you're so creepy, your hair will literally stand on end, but you still won't be able to put it down. Not true. But I also, like I said, I don't know if that's because I am such a big fan of the Americanized movie. So, was I disappointed? Yeah. Will I buy the second book? I don't know. Because I never saw like the second Ring movie. Actually, I think I did. I just blocked it out of memory because it was so bad. But I might give his next book a try. I don't know. It wasn't for me. So, the next 2 books I don't have physical copies of. One I read on my iPad, and then I listened to the audiobook. One I read on my iPad, and then I listened to the audiobook, and I used my Audible credit, which I'm like forever going to fucking beat myself up over because I just couldn't. It was so fucking long, first of all, and I could not. I just needed somebody to read it to me. And that would be, unpopular opinion, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. How do I pronounce her name? Hanya Yanagihara. Let's talk about it. So this book is supposed to be like the most depressing thing you're ever gonna read in your life, right? And it was sad, but after a while, I just didn't give a shit anymore. And that makes me sound like a terrible person, especially if you've read the book. Because, oh my god, it surrounds like 4 best friends, right? And I honestly don't even remember their names. Willem, JP, is it JP or JD? JP, I think. Jude, and Malcolm? Was that the 4th friend's name? See, that's how, like, I'm like, I don't remember these people, because, like, it really should have just been about one person, and it was depressing as fuck, and it was just, like, after a while, you're like, yeah, Malcolm, JB, So, Willem, JB, Malcolm, and Jude, right? How do I even unpack this? People are always talking about, like, oh, it's heart-wrenching, it's so sad. I honestly found myself getting irritated, bored, frustrated, and angry at the main character, Jude. It really starts to circle just around Jude. And maybe it's because I read this in quarantine, and maybe that wasn't the best decision, but I like the end of the book, I watched Paperback Journals' like vlog of this, right? And at the end of her vlog, she's like hysterically crying, and she's like, oh my god, it's so fucked up, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, obviously I'm gonna read this book. Hello. And then when I got to the last chapter, and the book ended, I was like, well, yeah. Like, how else did you think the book was gonna end? Like, the book, of course the book ends the way it ended. We could have just taken that ending at, like, in the middle of the fucking book, and it would have been like, yeah, okay. I don't know. There comes a point where it's just so much that it becomes unbelievable. And I'm not saying that people don't experience what Jude experienced, but it was just so much that and he just didn't. I don't want to do any spoilers, so like if you don't, I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but if like you really, really, really don't want to know what it's about, just like fast forward. But he didn't like really want to get help. He never like actively tried to put himself through therapy. He never actively tried to, you know, deal with his trauma. He just kept I don't know. It was just perpetual, just misery. And I was just like, oh my God. What? It was very difficult to care about the characters after a while. Stop! You know, and I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but I know a couple other people feel this way as well, just because I've read comments on people's videos about it. And it's just like, I just didn't care anymore. And that sounds terrible whenever you know what the book is about. But like, fuck. So, enough about A Little Life. It should have been called A Long Shitty Life, because it just, when you think it can't get shittier, it just gets even more shittier. That's what it should have been fucking called. Not A Little Life. Okay. Anyway, the last book on my list. It's gonna be another triggering one. Salem's Lot by Stephen King. Okay, don't come for me. First of all, let me just go ahead and say I'm not a Stephen King stan. I've given Stephen King very many chances, okay? I've liked some of his short novels, you know, some of his little novellas, they're cool. The man takes 15 chapters to describe a damn chair. Why? Why do I need all this? I need action. I fucking can't stand it. So when I was in Tokyo, I was like, oh my God, my mom loved Salem's Lot. She loved it so much. I should listen to Salem's Lot, blah, blah, blah. So I downloaded it. It scared her. Like, my mom grew up in Catholic school, so when she read Salem's Lot, she was like, oh my God, it was so scary. I had to sleep with a crucifix above my bed for months. So I was like, bet, I'm gonna read this book. When I tell you I had to force myself to finish this book, I had to force myself to finish the audiobook. I was just like, girl, just listen to it, just finish it. It's going in, just keep listening to it. I was so fucking bored. And I know that you're probably like, what does this bitch need? Like, how much demented shit does this bitch need to stay like interested? A lot. A lot. I need a lot. Like, it was just like, I found myself getting frustrated with the characters there, like that girl. If you don't want any spoilers, just skip ahead. Like that girl, she's like, I'm gonna go into this house by myself. Of course you're gonna turn into a vampire, bitch. What do you think's gonna happen? Hello? Hello? I just can't. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? The thing that got my mom the most, she said, was whenever the preacher's like fighting that, the vampire, I don't remember his name, and the vampire grabs the cross and he's like, it only works if you believe. Oh! She was like, but I think that's the Catholic school like fear, because for me I was like, and what's next? You gonna kill him or is he gonna kill you? What's gonna happen? Hello, I need some death, I need some gore, I need some action, because I have problems. So I'm trying to give Stephen King one more try, and I'm currently trying to listen to it on Audible, but fuck, I don't fucking care anymore. I've got like 6.5 hours left. I have gone through like 33 hours of this book, and I still have like 6, and I'm like, I don't care anymore. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I've seen the movie, that's enough. Like, oh, if someone can recommend a Stephen King novel to me that will change my mind. I've heard that The Shining and Pet Sematary are a little less like that, but fuck. I just can't do it. It's like Ernest Hemingway. I cannot read Hemingway novels either. I'm just like, get to the fucking point, Ernest. I don't care about what color the sky is today. I don't care at all. Oh my fucking God. I can't. So yeah, you can come for me. You can come for me for A Little Life. You can come for me for Salem's Lot. I don't care. I know that these are unpopular opinions. You want to throw another one in there? You want to throw in another book that I didn't like this year, that I didn't even want to put on my list? I didn't want to put on my list because when I said this to my boyfriend Anthony, he was like, oh, you didn't like that book? Wuthering Heights. I don't give a fuck. Air it all out. Let's just go. Let's just fucking, I'm literary trash. You know what I want to read? I want to read fucking, what do I have over there? I want to read like, I can't even think of one right now. I'll read all the Nancy Drew novels, okay? Like, I don't want to read no Wuthering Heights. I read Wuthering Heights. Again, maybe I need to stop listening. No, the Stephen King audiobooks make sense because I can't sit down for like 15 hours just to get through like the description of a fucking bed frame. So I listened to the audiobook of Wuthering Heights. I hated it. I hated it so much. The characters were so unlikable. I didn't like any of them. And I'm like, am I supposed to hate the characters? Because if I am, then successful book. But I didn't. They're like, oh my god, it's a love story. It ain't no motherfucking love story. For what? Am I supposed to feel bad for Heathcliff? I can't even decide. I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Pride and Prejudice, I can get down with it. I can get down with it. Love Pride and Prejudice. I'm gonna read Sense and Sensibility. Maybe I'll like that. I just fucking can't. My boyfriend was like, oh, but it's a classic. Boo. I don't care. Y'all are watching this like, she is literary trash. Like, she probably reads Nora Roberts. And I don't read Nora Roberts. My mom does. But like, I don't know. I'm on a literary journey. Maybe I'll try to read classics. Maybe next year I'll do like a whole month where I only read classic books. And I'll just hate my fucking life for a month. But I mean, like, my boyfriend was like, what about Oliver Twist? I'm like, well, I like the movie. I like the musical. He was like, so, anyway. Yeah, guys, those are my least favorite books. My worst reads of 2020. And I don't care. I know they're unpopular opinions. What error. So, yeah, guys, if you like this video, if you like me, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We do books. We do books on books. We do, what am I saying? We do videos on books. We do videos on travel, vlogs, mental health, whatever. We're in the middle of a mini Vlogmas. So yeah, tomorrow I'll have another video up, and the next day I'll have another video up, and then I'm gonna go sleep because it's a lot of filming, it's a lot of work. So if you want, you can follow me on Instagram at jordangabrielles, where I'm an InstaThought, and you can learn how to be an InstaThought too. I have 2 podcasts, Am I Crazy, which is a lifestyle podcast, and Drop Dead Gorgeous, gorgeous spelled G-O-R-E-G-E-O-U-S, which is a true crime and paranormal podcast. My camera's about to stop recording. I love you guys. Bye.